y'all, my client is here for her 9-week knotless retouch. So I'm going to be giving y'all tips, things that you should know when you are doing a knotless retouch. And I'm also going to be explaining to y'all how to properly remove knotless braids and detangle them. So when I'm doing my retouch, I like to go ahead and section off the braids that are going to be done over, because when I do my touch-ups, I like to take the braids out, detangle the hair, and do it that way. I've seen methods where people are doing like the crochet hook and like bringing the braid around. I don't personally prefer that because I just feel like you're just going to lock the hair up by doing that. So I like to remove the braids when my clients are sitting in my chair. I choose to remove them because I know what needs to be removed. Sometimes if the clients remove the braids, they may not remove enough. So I just give them the luxury of being able to just sit down and get their hair done. So my client, she shampoos her hair prior to coming in for her retouch. So that's what a lot of my clients actually prefer. Like, they just shampoo their hair the night before, which is totally fine. This is the section that is going to be left out, but that top row of this section, I'm actually going to do the retouch on. And when you're removing the knotless braids, you just want to make sure that you're cutting low enough that you're not cutting the client's real hair. As you remove the braids, you can see like where the client's real hair is, and then you can decide where you want to cut it from there. But what I like to do first is remove all of the braids before I do anything else. I like for the braids to be out. Another important step is to never, ever, ever try to detangle those knots while dry, which we're going to get into when I get to that part. Now, like I said at the beginning of the video, this is a 9-week touch-up, y'all. If you tuck, I promise y'all, the client's braids will last so long. And this is my regular. We have a set schedule to her getting her braids done. I actually did this install on a YouTube video, so make sure you check that out if you want to see how I did these braids. But she actually does come on a schedule every 6 weeks. She'll come, she'll get her knotless braids done 6 weeks out from her getting her knotless braids, and she'll get her retouch. She might keep them in for like 6 more weeks, and then she'll go like a week letting it breathe, and then we do another fresh set. So like I said, as long as you tuck, the braids will last forever. I see some people who try to say knotless don't last as long as traditional. If you're doing your install correctly, those knotless braids will last just as long or longer than traditional. So that's just a tip. Just make sure you tuck. Now, y'all, this is the most important part of the process. So this applies if you're doing a removal. This applies if you're doing a touch-up. Spray these sections with detangler before you try to comb them out. So what I like to do is spray detangler, and then I massage it in a little bit so that the detangler can work through there. Because when you're using the detangler, it makes the comb through process way easier, and you're not damaging the hair by trying to rip through it. It's so hard to try to comb through that if you do not spray anything on there. Trust me, okay? So we're going to spray these sections first, let them saturate. But what I wanted to do was demonstrate how to do this part on this section, okay? So I went ahead and removed all the braids off of camera, but this is going to be my demonstration section. As usual, when you're detangling hair, you want to start from the ends and then work your way up to the top. Now, I want y'all to know, when you have braids in for a long period of time, any type of protective style, if you keep them in for over 2 months, you're going to have shedding. Any protective style, when you're wearing it for a long time, it's going to have shedding where you're taking it out because you haven't combed through your hair in months. So you're having dead hair just building up. So don't think you're breaking your hair off when you're noticing that you're having like hair coming out. If you're doing the detangling process, as long as you're properly detangling, you're fine. But with every style, you're going to experience some normal shedding. So it's nothing to worry about, especially, like I said, if you're just doing the proper detangle process, you're fine. Okay, so we were almost finished at this point. As you can see, it looks very fresh, but this top row right here, I was not feeling it too much. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and just remove that row as well and retouch that. Now normally, like I said, she only keeps them in for 6 weeks before her retouch, but I just got back from my maternity leave, so she had to wait 3 extra weeks because I was off the whole month of September, and September would have been her 6-week mark, but I just got back to work this month. So we're gonna do the detangling process again, let that saturate, help smooth it out, and then we're gonna do an install. I'm actually gonna show y'all how I do a knotless braid while I'm doing this row, but I do have more in-depth knotless tutorials on my channel, so make sure you check out my channel if you would like to see more knotless tutorials. This video was really just focusing on like detangling tips, how to properly remove them, and things like that. But stay tuned and I'm going to show you how I do a knotless braid. My knotless process is pretty simple. So with my right fingers, I'm forming a C, and then I'm feeding them into my index and my thumb finger on my left hand. So I'm just going to keep on doing it like that, and I like to build my braid until it's the same size as the rest of the braids. And that's just my simple knotless process. If you want more details on how to do a knotless braid, then check out my other videos that's on my channel, and make sure you become a member of the Slay Gang. I'll have more like knotless videos coming for y'all now that I'm back from my leave. But yeah, just keep on staying tuned so you can see the final look from how it was when she first came. Okay, so I've been trying new products, trying to see, you know, what the hype is about on certain stuff. I don't know if I got a bad batch with this the Brat line from Kaleidoscope. The foam was super watery, so it wasn't foaming really. It was like really soupy, really loose. So I don't know if I like that, but it does smell good and it does add a nice shine. But with this product, I would like more of a foam consistency with it, but it was very loose. Like I said, I don't know if I got a bad batch. If you've tried this foam, then let me know in the comments if you experienced the same thing, because I just didn't like how loose this was. But other than that, like, it smells good and it does add a nice shine. So I'll give it about a 6 out of 10. But yeah, yeah. And I always dip the hair in hot water. This gives it that nice silky look, and it also helps the braids to flow freely. You also want to make sure that you're dipping the braids that she already had in her head before, because it's going to make everything come together and be uniform and give it a whole fresh full look.